every jelly, it's Aurelia, and today we're celebrating 200 subscribers. Thank you so much everyone for liking what I do. I'm so happy you enjoy my content, and I can't wait for you to see all that I have planned for this channel. To anyone who's new here, welcome. My name is Aurelia Albright, and I make mostly Terraria content here on YouTube. I try to do other series for different games when I have time as well. I also stream a lot of comfy games over on Twitch. All of my links are in the description if you'd like to take a look. So how does this work, Ari? How do we celebrate new jellies here? Well, every 100 subscribers, we design a character together using polls and comments on the community tab, and then I draw them and then I build them a house in Terraria or do a build specifically inspired by our character. Every 100 subscribers, we design a character together using polls and comments on the community tab, and then I build them a house in Terraria, or I do a build specifically inspired by our character. And I almost forgot to mention, I make free to use wallpapers using our character as well. If you watch till the end, I'll let you know how to get them. Today we're building for a space girl who I'd love to name with you in the comments, so don't forget to comment what you think she should be named. So as you can see, our space girl here has come a long way. I kind of got a little ahead of myself when I started making the polls for her. So you'll see her change a lot throughout the drawing process. So at first she was going to be in a spacesuit, and then the polls changed and we end up deciding on a really fluffy looking cute dress. It has a lot of ruffles, but I tried to keep in mind that she's in space, you know, like trying to give her a otherworldly vibe, if that's the word we should go with. She has very long curly hair. So the story with this character, she is inspired mostly by the moon jellyfish, and the way that we came up with her is moon jellies have been sent to space. So that's kind of the idea of this character, like she's a moon jelly that was sent to space, and this is kind of just how she evolves. I mean, at least that's the story that we came up with over on the community tab. Feel free to go over and look through the polls as well if you'd like to do that. I don't delete any posts that I make over there, so they're all there for you to see, along with the process of how I like to update you guys as I'm drawing according to what the polls get. So I have this little marking on her head that I kind of forgot about. I end up erasing it at some point while I'm doing the line art, and I forgot to put it back, so she will be missing that, unfortunately. I could always add it back or make new versions of the wallpaper that I posted for you guys to use if you guys would like to see the marking on her head stay there. So space-like accessories, I kind of went with this like little belt. It has the shape of the moon jelly. Well, I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but it's a very identifiable shape that's on most moon jellies. So I kind of went crazy with a little belt with those and pearls all over her dress. I thought that kind of gave a little something to her. I wouldn't say it's very space-alike, but I did try to make the dress look a little bit more, you know, it reminds me of like a fantasy, and especially what I did with the sleeves, it reminded me a lot of space, and I was very inspired by the nebula armors in Terraria as well. I think one of you guys really liked the nebula idea, so I just stuck with it. The only thing that I would say I'm a little bit disappointed about with this drawing is the shoes. I would like to get better at designing and drawing shoes, but unfortunately it's just not one of my strong points whenever I'm drawing. I kind of have a few shoes that I'm comfortable doing right now, but maybe with the next design I will have gotten a bit better at that. I'm not sure just yet. So there was a little moment where I was designing a helmet for our girl, but it ended up being voted out in the polls. So I designed a helmet, and then I kind of designed a little like water bubble since she is a jellyfish, and then I gave you guys the option between the two, and you guys chose the bubble, which I thought was very cute. I really liked that idea, and honestly I think it works out that it was picked. So while we were coloring, I kind of came up with a color scheme that was similar to the Nebula armor, but I ended up looking at the armor and I just liked the colors much more, and I think you guys did as well in the poll that I posted about color schemes. So I did try to stay true to the clothes, and I think I did pretty good with keeping up with those colors. I included a lot of them in her hair, and I made most of her outfit purple. Specifically the purples that were used in the armor. I want to say that I balanced it pretty well when I'm looking at our character when she's all colored. I think it looks very balanced, which I was happy with. Well, maybe the purple is a bit overwhelming actually. I'm not sure. I would love to know what you guys think though. I also tried to experiment a bit with the way that I color. So I've been painting in real life recently, and I really like painting in the style where it's kind of like you're dabbing the brush, and I've always been so fond of paintings that have that texture in them. So I really wanted to replicate that in my digital art, and I think I've found a way to do that, which makes me so happy because it's like the art that I love to look at is kind of coming through in the art that I'm making, which is such a wonderful feeling, you guys. I don't know if you know what I'm like expressing here, like if you can relate, but it just makes me so happy that I was able to kind of push the thing that I like to see through into my own art. I don't know, it makes me so happy, and I hope you guys like what I did and how she turned out. When it came to building her a house, I really wanted to stick with the otherworldly vibe that I kind of gave her when I was drawing her. And what came to my mind was this sort of, I want to say like a fairy house almost. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a little house that you would see in someone's garden, where a fairy would stay. I hope that makes sense. And I had this idea of a tree, like a little branch coming up and being a part of her house, like maybe being a part of what holds it up. And so I kind of did a little outline for a tree that I wanted to make, and then I started building around it to see what I could come up with, like what shapes I wanted to use and just how it felt, like whether or not it would feel like our character would live in it or not. So I really based this build on feeling, and I was looking at our character back and forth while I was building this. So I really wanted to stick with the colors of the nebula. I used a little, I actually don't know what the item is called, but you can see it next to the borrelwood tree. It's like it's a little statue that you click and then it makes the background the nebula pillar. I did actually fight all the bosses. I think that's why I'm posting this video a little bit later in the day than usual, because I was fighting all the bosses and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot to have a world with like all the bosses defeated so I could build this build. And then I remembered that item existed. So originally I was going to build it right next to the pillar and have the pillar be a part of the build, but it ended up being in the jungle and it wasn't really the vibe I was wanting. So I ended up using the little statue thing that you can activate to change the background, and I thought it would look best in the hollow. So I really liked that choice. I ended up making the tree a bit thicker, and I did continue to build around it. So in a way, the tree is kind of like 3D in a way, I guess you could say. Like, it would be on the outside of the house, but I like to build the inside a lot of the time. A lot of my builds as well usually have a kind of 3D element to them. Like, I really like to put like for example, the way that I build the kitchen, I'm pushing it back by having a little wall between the actual floor block and the wall that the items are sitting against. I hope that makes sense. But I really like that look and the way that it creates a kind of space in my builds. I feel like it translates well. It's something that I just find myself naturally doing. I don't know if you guys can relate to that or not, but I think it adds a little something. I also tried to make a little entryway. I added some stairs. I used a lot of pinks and blue colors. I tried to use like more mystical looking blocks like Aether and the moss bricks I thought were very nice. I actually did use some of the nebula bricks as well in the nebula blocks, which are a little bit hard to use for me because it's just a bit out of what I would usually do, like away from my usual builds. But that's part of what I love about doing this every 100 subscribers. It makes me happy to connect this way with you guys and try to use things that relate to this character that we make together. It's so fun. I think that maybe when we reach a bigger milestone, like maybe around 1000, maybe we'll have a world where we will make builds together for our character or something like that. I think that would be pretty fun, and we could all go on the Discord together or something. That would be pretty cool. So this is how the house turned out. I really hope you guys like it. I'd love to know your thoughts as always, so leave them in the comments if you have anything to say. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If you're interested in having the wallpapers of our character here, I'll be posting them in our Discord under the channel Original Wallpapers. It's right next to the Art by Ari channel, so that's how you can download them free to use from me to you. I loved creating this character with you guys, and I hope you had a fun time too. That's gonna be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe to see more videos like this, and I'll see you next week.